Hey, what up, guys? This is Kevin Silver with Viralizers.com. And in this video, what we're going to be doing is going over how to recruit Viralizer fans into your tribe. All right. So in the last video, we talked about how to become a Viralizer fan, which is number one, right? You want to do that before you do anything else. You want to become a fan. And the reason is simply, if you're out there, talking with people, sharing cool stuff, you're going to become actual friends with them. If you start off your relationships as, as being a friend versus coming off as some marketer, which is nothing wrong with being a marketer, don't get me wrong, but if you come off as being a friend and you actually are a friend to people, everything else that follows will just be so much better. When you share things on social media, people will actually care what you share. When you share a link to your podcast, to your magazine, and so on. So now let's talk about how you recruit the Viralizer fans in your market. How do you recruit all the other fans in your market that are already viralizing for other brands and having conversations? How do you get them into your tribe? Let's talk about that right now. So we're going to zoom in on this right here. So I'm going to focus in on recruit Viralizer fans. Wow, that's pretty big, huh? So let's open this up. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to use the Viralizer formula to target these four groups. The first is the most active. Who are the most active people in your market? And what I mean by active is who are having the conversations, who's the sharers right now, who are the retweeters, and I'm going to show you a formula on how to add these people to your tribe, okay, on autopilot. And the reason we want to go after people on Twitter is because, believe me, I used to be known as, the quote unquote Facebook guy. I was the guy you went to when you wanted to learn how to use Facebook to market your business, but I'm all about Twitter now because, it's conversations. So there's people actually having conversations about your topic. When you're on Facebook, it's all about people sharing quotes and doing this, whatever. But when it comes to Twitter, it's targeted conversations that we can jump in on. And we do that by using hashtags. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the how-to videos. The next is the most engaged. Who are the most knowledgeable? Okay, who are the most knowledgeable? So the most engaged people are not only the people that are most active, but they're also the ones that have the biggest audiences. You follow me? Because it's one thing if somebody that's, just opened their account, has 10 followers, retweets your stuff, which you're going to appreciate that person just as much you would appreciate the person that has 10,000 followers. However, the people that are engaged with the biggest audiences obviously are going to result in a lot more juice for you, right? And what I mean by juice is, a lot more views and additional retweets and so on. Who are the most interested, okay? So the Viralizer fans, these are also the people that are the most interested in your topic. The only people that are going to go on Twitter and jump in on a conversation about your topic. Let's say your topic was UFC, okay, MMA fighting. Well, if there's an event this weekend, UFC 57, well, all the people that are the most interested in MMA, where they're going to be? They're going to be on Twitter, and they're going to be having a conversation under the hashtag UFC 57. So that's where you would find them. You follow me? Now, even if you don't target them as they're having the conversation, you could still get them the day or, a couple of days after because the conversation doesn't go anywhere. It stays there. However, what you want to do is jump in on those conversations. So when you see somebody say, oh, what a knockout, you want to jump in and say, yeah, I thought that was coming, whatever. You want to reply to people. This is where being the Viralizer fan comes into play. You have to look at what they're putting out and go and reply to what they're saying. And what that does is it'll come back to you, right? You'll come in, reply to this person. They'll say, and whatever you say, if it's something that's interesting, valuable, or that they agree with, or even if they disagree, they'll be like, oh, wow, this person's pretty cool. Boom. They stop following you. Okay. But the most important thing is you are now anchoring yourself in their mind. And now just understand something. I'm going to say stuff like that. You're going to anchor yourself in their mind. Understand that while I say that, normally when you hear something like that, it has to do with wanting to, screw with people's minds or mind control. And while we do use those same tactics, we don't do it so that we can take advantage of people. We do it because we really want to become friends with them, okay? We just want to become the number one person in their mind when it comes to your topic. Next, the most valuable. Who are the most valuable Viralizer fans in your market? These are the retweeters, okay? So there's the people that are just active, who are always talking and always starting conversations. But the people that are the most valuable, these are the ones that are going to be retweeting everybody else. These are the people that are going to become your viralizer fan, okay? They're the ones that when you put out something that's really great, they're going to retweet it. And they're going to go even further than that. What they'll do is they'll start sending out tweets about your topic, about your brand, I mean. Okay, they'll put out your hashtag. They'll write their own tweet. So not only will they retweet whatever you put out, they'll actually tweet out something that they thought of on their own and hashtag your brand, okay? Then we also go after the buyers. Who are the buyers? Listen, there's a very easy way to target nothing but buyers, okay? The way to do it would be, let me give you an example. So my topic, new media, okay? New media, social media, whatever you want to call it. Well, there was just an event, which is the New Media Expo, and I'm a huge fan of New Media Expo now. If you haven't seen them yet, go check them out. Their hashtag is NMX, okay? So New Media Expo. While doing my research, I came across this thing for New Media Live, and they were actually streaming some of the talks that they were doing. And when I ever seen this guy, Lou something, there's a lot of people that know his name. I can't believe I can't remember it, but Lou was talking, and it was everything that I was talking about in Viralizers. I mean, it was just completely in sync. And that's when I was like, whoa, where's this been? You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe there was a whole community out there that thinks the same way that we do that I didn't know about, right? I was really slacking when it came to that. But New Media Expo, really great. But now here's the deal. They were using a hashtag to have conversations with each other while they were at the event. So think about this. All the people that went to the New Media Expo find the hashtag, they all go to the event, and they use the hashtag to meet other people that are at the event. Now, to attend the event, you have to pay money to attend the event. So that means that pretty much everyone that's in on that conversation under NMX or whatever the hashtag is for whatever event is going on in your industry, in your category, those are all people that paid money to be at that event. Those are all the buyers in your market. How powerful is that? So when we target the people that are having these conversations, we're targeting buyers, the most active, the most interested, the most engaged, with the biggest audiences also. All right? There's going to be a mixture of all of them, and they are all equally as valuable. I don't care if they're just all equally as valuable. I can go on and explain it, but just understand that every single person matters, okay? Just because somebody doesn't have 10,000 followers doesn't mean anything. They might have no followers, but guess what? They might work for a newspaper. They might whatever, okay? You never know. They might become one of your best case studies for whatever it is you end up doing. So don't ever devalue someone based on the number of followers they have or whatever. With that said, do we only go after people that are active? Yeah, just because those are the people that we know for a fact, if they're that interested, that engaged, we know that they're most likely going to be that interested in the topic in a year from now and 2 years from now. Somebody that is not being that active, that is not that engaged, they're not the type of people we want to target. Can they join our tribe? Do we want them to join? Absolutely. But are we going to spend time to go recruit the people that are not that interested in the topic? No. Okay, we only spend our time targeting and recruiting the best of the best. Okay. Next, Viralizer fans on where do we target them? Okay, where do we target them? So let's put this back in focus. Oh, let me go like this. 1 second. I'm still getting used to this new program. I love this program. It's called Mind View. It's really cool. So I'm just going to refocus this. Okay. All right. So where do we find them? The first place is obviously on social media sites, right? Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, Twitter. Now, you'll notice, I have Twitter there twice. That's just because I'm going to leave Twitter there twice because I think Twitter is the best place to target. So we're going to leave it there twice. It's twice as powerful. But in all seriousness, what we want to do is target people on all sites. Okay. The whole, should you use Facebook or Twitter? That's so stupid. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, two people want to give you money. All right. One wants to give you $10. The other one wants to give you $5. What do? Do you only say, well, I'm only going to take $10 from you and I'm not going to take your $5 because this guy over here is offering me 10. Why wouldn't you just take the $10 and the $5? There's no rule that says you can only take the $10 from that person. So it's the same thing. Yeah, okay, I understand. You're going to get 10 over there, but you're only going to get 5 over here. But like I just talked about, right? the person that's giving you the $5, or, when it comes to using Google Plus, for example, Google Plus does not have as many, users as a Facebook or a Twitter. But guess what? They are some of the top leaders in every single market are hanging out on Google Plus. Okay. And that's why a lot of the top people are going over to Google Plus, because it's the one place where they can talk with other top people. You follow me? Facebook and Twitter, there's a lot of followers, but they want to be able to just have conversations with other leaders. Okay. And that's pretty much what Google Plus has become, especially in the tech, online entrepreneur world, like our world, right? Especially in our world, a lot of the top people are there, and you want to be there. The other place you can find Viralizer fans, and there's Viralizer fans everywhere. Okay. Every single site. I'm just giving you, some key areas to target. But another one would be Facebook commenters. Okay. Facebook commenters. So here's what I mean: launch pages, squeeze pages, landing pages, blogs, news sites. How many sites out there do you see that have Facebook comments on it? Okay. How many times do you see this? How many times do you see, number one, a Facebook ad, and when you click on the ad, it goes to a landing page, right? A squeeze page that tells you, hey, put in your email address to get, blank whatever. You put in your email address and it brings you to the next page where it says, oh, here's your download link. But then what does it have? Underneath, it has a Facebook comment section. And you can see what? You can see comments that go back a year, 2 years. Okay? And it's all Facebook comments. Guess what? Those are all buyers. Those are all people that the person running the ad had to pay to generate as a lead. You follow me? They had to pay to run an ad to get that person to opt in. The person qualified themselves by opting in, and then went to the next page, and then even went as far as to leave a comment. So what that says is those are all action takers. Those are all the people most interested in your topic. They're all Viralizer fans. Okay? They are the people that will viralize your content, because every time they leave a comment on that page, they're viralizing that page. So what you want to do is stop friending up all those people. Yeah, you might have to do it manually. So what? If you went back to that page once every couple of days or once a day, and you just spent 5 minutes, okay? Because you can only add 10 people a day on Facebook anyway. All right. That's one of the dumb things. It's a social media site where you're supposed to be social, but you can only add 10, 15 friends a day or you get banned. All right. So don't ever test that. Well, they give you a warning first where they tell you they take away your friend adding privileges for 24 hours. But and then you get 3 warnings. Well, you get 2 warnings the third time they ban you. Believe me, I know. It's happened many times. But if you add 10, 15 people a day, you'll be fine. But guess what? If you add 10, 15 people like that, people that you know for a fact will opt into a landing page to download your thing, they'll leave a comment and share your stuff. I mean, though you could not find a better audience than that. Okay, those are all Viralizer fans. But then there's Viralizer buyers. Now, what are Viralizer buyers? Viralizer buyers would be the people doing the same thing, commenting on some type of a landing page. However, you ever see a product launch? We always see guys, top guys in the industry, in the internet marketing world, doing a product launch, right? Once every month, there's a different, quote unquote guru doing a launch. Well, guess what? What do they all have? They all have product launch funnels, right? And on every landing page in the funnel, what do they have? Facebook comments. And then on the sales page, what do they have? Facebook comments. And then on the sales page, so like video number 4 is always like the sales video. You'll see people leaving comments like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy. Oh, I just bought mine. I can't wait to go to the event. Guess what? If that's a $2,000 course, those are all $2,000 buyers in your market. Okay? Now, I'm not saying to go friend them up and spam them. Please do not do that. I mean, this is such powerful stuff, and to put it out there for free is kind of nuts on my behalf, because this is how you target viralizers, and this is not only how you target Viralizer fans. That's how you target Viralizer buyers. Okay, and I can go on and on. You could use Facebook events. All right, find Facebook events or other events. You find the Facebook event or the Google Plus event or Eventbrite event where people have to pay to attend that event. And then they leave comments on the event page, or if you look at who was invited to the event, okay, who RSVP'd as I'm going to be there, those are all the Viralizer buyers, okay? These are all the people that'll buy and leave a comment to then share that event with their friends. Understand that I'm showing you right now how to target the best of the best in your market. Now, what you want to do is just friend them up. Friend them up, follow them on Twitter if it's on Twitter. Just add them as a friend or a follower. But here's the deal. Now you have to understand why we first went over how to be a Viralizer fan. Because when you add this quality type of people, they are not the type of people that will stand for 1 second you spamming them. They're not the type of people that will sit there and let you send out messages every day that every single one of them has a link back to some squeeze page. It won't work. You can try it, and if that's what you're into, you could do it, and it works in some places. It won't work here. All right? I'm not really worried about showing you this for this one reason. I know for a fact, number one, they'll report you as a spammer. Okay? I just had one of my clients that I've been working with. We've been building them the most active audience in their niche. Okay? And what did they do? I told them, make sure you're at replying to people, you're talking to people, you're being an actual user of Twitter, of Facebook. You have to be an actual user. You actually have to be a fan of the market. You have to interact with people. What did they do? They didn't want to take my advice, okay? They were trying to be lazy. They were trying to do things the old school way of doing things, where you could just fake you cared, Faking is not going to work anymore. Well, guess what happened a couple days ago? They get an email saying your Twitter account has been shut down. Why? Because they have not been engaging with their audience. And they said we had an overwhelming, response when it came to people reporting you as a spammer. Okay? So understand that when you add people that are so active, okay, when you add people that are actually there, they are there, all right? And they're actually reading every tweet that you put out. So if you're putting out nothing but garbage, they will see it and they will report you, okay? And for the people that thinks that's a bad thing, you don't get it. You really don't get it. Because here's what most people, or, here's what people think they want. They think they want to just go, add a bunch of people, get them to follow them back, and then just spam them with a bunch of links, and people click the links and go. Guess what? All those clicks that you think you're getting, right? When you look at the stats and you say, wow, 300 people just clicked on my link. It's not really 300 people, okay? A lot of those stats come from, or clicks, they come from Google bot and Yahoo bot and search engines that are crawling Twitter and every page on Twitter like you would not believe. Okay, every second of every day, they just, they're crawling, they're spidering. These search engines send out spiders to crawl, which is basically scan every single web page in Twitter so that they can index that information in their search engine. Well, a lot of that traffic is not actual traffic, okay? It's not actual people, I should say. It's just, bots, a bunch of bots that are crawling websites or crawling Twitter. And I'm not just talking about search engines. There's sites like, those Twitter graders, and all those type of tools out there that like grade you on how many tweets you put out. Well, for them to be able to grade you, they're always scanning all the stuff that's being put out on Twitter. So a lot of that's that. So people think that, oh, I don't have to actually interact with people. Yes, you do. When you do what I'm showing you to do, and this is what I keep going back to, and the only reason I'm spending some extra time on this is because you can't half-ass this, okay? You can't do this half pregnant. You're either going to be pregnant or you're not. You got to choose, okay? If you're going to do it the Viralizer way, the Viralizer's way is you're going to actually care about every single person you add. You're actually going to read their stuff. If you want them to read your stuff, you have to read their stuff, okay? And you have to interact with them. If they say something to you, like go to my feed, okay? And listen, I don't do this as much as I would like to, but I try my best, okay? When I have time, what I do is, I got the new Samsung S3 Galaxy, okay? I'll give you a tip real quick and we'll move on. I have the new Samsung S3 Galaxy. Well, I also have the iPhone. Well, my iPhone, even though it's not hooked up through to AT&T anymore, now I'm using Sprint. My iPhone is always on. And the reason it's always on is because I use it using Wi-Fi. Now, what I have is I have my Mac and my iPhone. I don't know how it works, but every time I get an email, my iPhone has a notification. Well, I also installed the Twitter app. That's how I did it. I installed the Twitter app on my iPhone, and every time there's a notification on Twitter, it shows up on my iPhone. So it's going off all day long. Don't get me wrong, it could be annoying at sometimes because literally every minute you'll hear it. You'll hear it in the background. You'll keep hearing the sound go off. That's what it is. It's my iPhone letting me know that I just got a new follower or somebody just mentioned me. And every time somebody mentions you, they ask you questions, answer them. Because believe me when I tell you, some people will do it in the beginning to test you, to see if you're a real person and to see if you're going to be around. But once you show them that you're real, once people start going to your profile and see that you're at replying other people and they see that every single thing you have put out, because here's what happens. Let me give you two scenarios. So let's say there's Joe over here and Bob over here. Bob is doing it the old school way, okay, where he just spams and spams. It's all posts that go to Twitter that are just basically, automated posts from every blog post he creates or every Facebook post. It's all posts that come from other places. It's not him going to Twitter. Now, Joe is using the Viralizers way. Well, when you go to Bob, okay, the guy that's doing it the old school way, when you go to his profile, you're going to see every single tweet on his profile. You can see all the stuff that he's put out over the last few days. And every single thing that you see is going to be some, BS, whatever information, or it's going to be a title of a blog post and a link. That's it, okay? Now, when you go to Joe, the guy that's doing it the Viralizers way, you're going to go to his profile. You know what you're going to see? You'll see, posts like that have a link to, his podcast or whatever, but it's going to be 1 out of 10, all right? You just heard it right there. That was the alert. You'll hear that sound over and over. I probably shouldn't have pointed it out to you this early because now you're gonna hear it even more. But you'll go to his, but you'll see maybe 1 out of 10 will be a link to one of his things, right? But you're also gonna see the other 9, posts that he put out there are gonna be at reply Susie Q. Hey, thanks for the retweet. Or at reply Billy Bob. Hey, Billy Bob. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be answering a question. That's how you know if somebody's actually live on Twitter, is you look at their profile, and if you see at replies where they're talking to individual people, that's how you know. See, the guy that does it the old school way of just spam, 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 he's not going to have any individual conversations going on. And it's the individual conversations that will get you more followers than you possibly can imagine, which sounds kind of nuts. How can I get more followers by talking to one person than if I was just to go, spam a bunch of people? Because when people go to your profile, number one, when you go and you follow all these Viralizer fans, okay, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to go to your profile and they're going to take a look at who is this person. When they see that you actually have individual conversations and that you're a real person that actually shows up to Twitter and conversates with people, guess what? Now, the follow back rate, the number of people or the percentage of people that follow you back is going to be very, very high. Okay. A lot higher than it ever would be you doing it the old school way. That's number one. Number two, when you send an individual message to Billy Bob, all of Billy Bob's followers might see that you just sent out that thing. Okay. Or if you guys are talking to each other, but you're using a hashtag, okay, like NMX, or the original post was under the hashtag NMX, or whatever your hashtag is, UFC 57, whatever. Well, what happens is everybody that's following that hashtag starts to see your conversation with Billy Bob. And what they do is they say, oh, wow, okay, this person sounds cool. And they all stop following you. Because understand that no conversation is actually an individual conversation. Everybody can see the conversation you're having with Billy Bob or with Joe or with Susie Q, whatever. Because when you send them an at reply, right, it's public. Only direct messages are private. So when you at reply Billy Bob, it's going to show up on Billy Bob's profile, but it's also going to show up on your profile. And people will judge you based on what you say in those conversations. Did you just hear the alert again? That's what I'm talking about. So I have it going on all day. So that's how I stay active, okay? The way I stay active is I don't just live on Twitter. I don't just sit there and not work. What I do is I have my iPhone there. It's going off, every 30 seconds, and it'll tell me somebody just followed you, or somebody just mentioned you. And, what I do is I look for the post where somebody actually speaks to me. At Kevin Da Silva, hey, great video. At Kevin Da Silva, hey, Kevin, are you Portuguese? Yes, I am. And when I see it's an actual question for me, I'll go right to Twitter and I'll just respond to them real quick. Or if I'm in the middle of something, I'll just wait. And I'll know in the back of my mind, okay, when I'm done with this, I need to stop by Twitter and answer everybody. You know what I mean? Then what I do is I try to spend at least a half hour, an hour a day going to Twitter and looking at my feed, okay? Looking at what everybody else is saying, jumping in on conversations using hashtags, stuff like that. This is how it works. You want to be a real social media or a viral marketer, this is what you have to do, okay? You have to open up those relationships. Now, listen, is there ways to do it without doing all this work? Yes. But you know what? I don't consider this work. All right. This is what I want to do. The beauty of this is this: the Viralizers formula is meant so that we're not just doing this so that we can sell something. Okay. We're doing this as our business. This is our business because what we're doing is we're building relationships. And it's those relationships that are going to end up making you all the money that you make going forward. Now, it doesn't seem like that because you're not asking them to buy something right now. But believe me when I tell you, when you build up these relationships over time, you're going to build up a tribe of people that actually know who you are, that actually think of you as a friend. And when that happens, when you share your podcast, when you share your digital magazine, whatever it is, boom, they're going to share it with all their friends. Okay? That's going to be so much power. You gain so much power from that. And believe me when I tell you, email and all these other tools are going to die out. The one thing that'll never die out is a relationship with your tribe. Okay? Because when you have a tribe, right, everybody's into email lists. I'm not. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I build it? I call it a viralizer list. The reason I call it a viralizer list is because we don't look at it as just an email list, a list of email addresses that we have conversations with emails. Okay? It's like we're not talking to people, we're talking to email addresses. We talk to tribes. We chill with our tribe. We have conversations with our tribe. All right? Now, when you look at it like that, anything, you could have conversations with them using Twitter, Facebook tomorrow, email today. You can switch up the tools, but that's all they are tools, our ways of communication. That's all an email list is. Like email is a tool, it's a form of communication. Just like the phone is, just like Twitter is, just like Facebook is. To put all your eggs in one basket like that and say, oh, I'm all about building the email list and I'm just going to master sending emails. Look at how fast things are changing. Okay. Brian Tracy said the other day in a video where he was interviewed by, I believe it was Jay Abraham. He said every 2 to 3 years, everything that you mastered becomes obsolete every 2 to 3 years. So understand that no matter what shiny thing of the month is going on, right? What new tool you can use and what way, that's all, it's always going to die out, and it's going to die out faster and faster and faster. But if you focus on what I'm telling you to focus on, which is building relationships with real people and build actual relationships with them, the tool doesn't matter, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're using these tools to invite them back to our tribe. Our tribe is going to live where? On our website. We're going to meet up to do webinars together. We're going to meet up to do conference calls, whatever. We do these tribal events. So they're going to be a part of your club. They're not some people that you can only contact using email. They're people that actually know you and that think, that every day think, okay, I got to contact this person. Like real friends. That's all it comes down to is they're real friends. All right. The only difference is, believe me, when you could build a tribe of 1,000, 2,000 people and absolutely crush it. Absolutely crush it. All right. This whole you need to make millions of dollars thing, forget about that shit. Listen, if you want to, awesome. All right. You can do it with this formula. You can do it because when we get to the fourth model of the Viralizer monetizers, that's where you can create services for your tribe. That's where you can create content. You could do conferences. You could do seminars. All right. You could do, if it's not a how-to type thing, you do a conference and you get corporate sponsors. There's a million options, okay? You could become a publisher. Don't want to create content yourself? Don't. Like I'm talking about like courses to sell. You don't even have to. You know what you do? Find the up-and-comers in your market. Say, listen, I'm going to take 80% of the profits. I'm going to give you 20, but I'm going to sell it to my tribe. And when you have a tribe, you could do that kind of stuff because you have the power, okay? Let's move on. I know that was a huge rant, but hopefully this is all starting to sink in and you're starting to get it. Okay, so next, join forums and communities, right? We already talked about joining forums and communities in your last one. But when we join forums and communities, we're talking about actual forums. We're talking about niche communities. This would be like the Facebook for your market. If there isn't one right now, this is where the opportunity lies when it comes to what you can do. Okay. I truly believe that community sites, Facebooks for your market, for your specific market, is where we're headed. Okay. Viralizers started off when I started teaching it to my clients, my private clients and students back in August of 2012. It was originally a 7-part framework, and part 2 of that framework was build a community site. Now I've narrowed it down. Now it's 3 parts plus the next level content. However, I still believe that creating a niche community site is something you want to do in your future. I didn't want to bring it up when I'm first teaching it because, this is where what we're talking about in this video right here and this whole series, this is where it's at, building your tribe. That needs to be the focus. We'll get into the niche communities later on down the road, okay? But the niche community would be like creating a Twitter or Facebook just for gamblers, just for people who like scrapbooking, just for whatever. Think of Facebook as becoming the training ground to become a part of niche communities down the road. That's where we're headed. Okay, people are going to get stale. Don't get me wrong. Facebook will never go away. It's a part of our culture. So is Twitter. But they're becoming the family party. They're very general, right? Now what's going to start to happen, I believe, is people are going to go niche themselves, right? People are going to want to be in a Facebook that's only for gamblers. People are going to want to be in a site that's only for, people that like to drink, whatever, okay? And the reason is, if somebody believes in God, if they talk about believing in God on Facebook, they get into a fight, right? Oh, how could you believe in God? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to get into fights with people over what they believe because you're never going to be able to change the other person's mind using Facebook. So what's the use of arguing? People want to be themselves. Not only that, you got colleges, when you go apply for a job, they go right to your Facebook now to see what type of a person you are. So people have to hide who they really are. Well, now there's going to be niche communities. So if somebody likes to gamble online, they'll be able to go to this online gambling site, which is a Facebook for gamblers, and talk about gambling there without anybody knowing on their Facebook account that they're, a huge gambler, whatever. So that's going to be a huge opportunity. But you want to find those communities and become a part of them. You want to join Facebook groups, okay? Again, we touched on this in the last one, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is something that you want to do, okay? Facebook groups, whatever it is, wherever you could jump in. And listen, you don't have to do this stuff every single day. You could do, the communities one day, forums the other day. And what we do, and remember, we set up Google alerts. We set up notifications if we use Facebook or Twitter. I'll show you how to do that. Where you could set up alerts so that when somebody tags you or somebody starts a new discussion, you get notified. So okay, I have notifications waiting over here. So that's where you go that day. All right. You don't have to wonder, okay, what do I do today? Or make some huge schedule. All you got to do is set up the notifications and then you'll know exactly, where the conversations are being had for that specific date. Okay. The forums, you don't have to go there every day. Let Google, with the Google alerts, notify you every time a topic or discussion comes up about your specific keyword. That's the days you go to the forum. You follow me? Now, the reason I put this also in the Recruit Viralizer Fans, because this is also what's in the Become a Viralizer Fan, is because we're going to recruit members from these other tribes, okay? From these communities, from these forums, from these Facebook groups. And we do it using our podcast, our digital magazine, and so on. So with the signature and in the forums, with links back to our podcast, and then our podcast tells them to go back to our site. Okay, so what we kind of do is use the next level content as the buffers, right? So we don't want to link directly to our squeeze page, correct? But we still want to get people onto our email list so that we're able to contact them on a daily basis, right? Well, what we can do is use the next level content as the buffer. So link to the ebook that's free on Amazon, which that's a cool thing to tell people about. Link to your podcast, which again is a cool thing to tell people about. Now, the cool thing about it is, number one, it's perceived as high value. Number two, you're going to provide them with actual value. So you're providing them with value up front before asking them to opt in. Now, when you send somebody to a digital magazine, to a podcast, to a free ebook, and they consume that content, what do you think is going to happen? If you do your job and deliver massive value, do you think that they're going to say, oh, I just got some awesome value, let me leave and never come back? Of course they're not. at the end of the podcast or throughout the podcast or in the digital magazine, when they see the ad that says, hey, you want this magazine every month for free? Or, hey, you want a free report that walks you through step by step everything I just talked about in this podcast? Go over to viralizers.com and opt in. What do you think people are going to do? The cool thing about this is you sent them somewhere where you were able to deliver them massive value and then ask them to go opt into your squeeze page. The cool thing about it is when you share that next level content with your social media audiences, right? It's something that's cool. It's not going to be looked down upon, okay? It's actually going to be something that people are going to share and think, wow, this is so awesome. They're going to share it with all their friends. You follow me? But in the content, in that next level content, that's where we can tell them, hey, if you want more, come over to our site. Now, this next level, which is share the best content, that's actually not supposed to be there. I copy and pasted the above levels from the other one from Become a Viralizer Fan here. So that's not supposed to be there. So we're going to get rid of that. But that right there is how you recruit Viralizer fans. Now, listen, obviously, that's a really simple way for me to explain how we target these Viralizer fans. But believe me when I tell you, there's so much more for me to teach you, okay? I mean, I'm going to be giving you multiple ninja formulas just for recruiting Viralizer fans from Facebook and just for recruiting from Twitter. So if I was to really create this mind map and put everything I'm going to be teaching you, I mean, we wouldn't be able to see the letters. These things would look like ants, okay? Each of these little boxes would look like ants because we'd have to zoom out so far. This is the 50,000 bird's eye view of what we're going to be doing, okay? Understand that, I'll be able to create a whole nother mind map for each of these little boxes if I wanted to, but we're not going to do that. This is the beginning still, so I'm still giving you the, overview, but now we're starting to zoom down, okay? Now I'm showing you, okay, here's the roads that we're going to travel so that when I go and teach you in the action training videos, the how-to videos, you'll know in your mind, you'll be able to picture, okay, we're traveling on this road right here. We're traveling on this road. Okay, I just need you. I'm a very visual person. And whether you're visual or not, I believe that it helps to have this picture in your mind so that you could say, okay, this is where we're at right now. This is where we're at. It just helps me teach you, and I hope it helps you consume this content. Now, in the next part of this series, I'm going to be going over with you the lists that you have to create, okay? What I mean by lists is, there's a bunch of lists that you need to create and that you need to add to over and over again, okay? So you just want to have these lists created either in a journal, whatever. I'm going to tell you exactly what lists you need to create. Now, I'm also going to actually be creating PDFs, okay, so that you can fill in all the blank spaces on these lists. But it's going to be, to give you an example so you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about stuff like one might be, blog post ideas. Another one might be podcast episodes to create. And what you do is every day as you're engaging, talking with people, going to forums and looking at the questions people are asking, you will start to get a feel for your market. Okay. So remember I told you about, whether you want to be the expert or not, it doesn't matter. But yet, in the Viralizer formula, by default, it's going to position you as the expert. It's going to make you the expert. Understand that is what's going to happen. Because when you're getting a Google alert for every single question that comes up about Facebook, if you're a social media person, right? And every time a Facebook discussion is started in a community or forum in the internet marketing world, you're going to get an alert. And you're going to read those questions, even if you don't go and respond to every single one of those new discussions that were started. Just by getting those alerts every day and reading the titles, you'll start to pick up on trends. I mean, you would have to be a very, very dull person that doesn't pay attention or, doesn't even look at it. Because if you even spend a split second to open the email, read the title, and that's it, and you did that every day, guess what? You're going to start, it's going to get anchored into your mind, even if you don't consciously, think to yourself, oh, I'm going to remember that one. It's just going to happen. You'll start to say, after a few weeks, you'll start to say, wow, that question comes up a lot. That's a question that comes up a lot. You're going to start to get a real feel for your market. Your finger will be on the pulse of your market. When you're engaging in conversations on Twitter and Facebook, you'll start to see what people say, what terms they use, and so on. This is what we need to do to dominate a market, okay? This is all you need to do. All that other stuff is just, it's additional, okay? All that, you got to understand that you can either be the top person in your market about that knows more about your topic, your topic, okay, that your tribe is interested in, that topic. Or you could be a master at marketing. Don't get me wrong, you need marketing to dominate any market, no matter what you're doing. However, when you have real relationships with people, you don't need all that mind control stuff. If you could just be a regular person and be like, hey guys, here's this cool thing. I thought you would like it. Boom, give a link. And I promise you, that's going to convert a lot more than mind control stuff, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Does the mind control stuff work? Yes, it does. However, it's just for a different type of person that has different goals than we do. See, we're looking to build a tribe, build actual relationships with people, right? And so on. Now, that marketing, that mastery marketing, that type of stuff comes into play when you need to convince somebody on the first time you met them, go buy your stuff. Okay. So that works if that's what you want. That's not what we're after, though. That's the only reason. So understand that I'm not knocking what they do. It's just not for what we're trying to do. We're taking the easy route and we're going to enjoy ourselves the whole way. Okay. The cool thing is, this is all about getting out there today and going to take action. I already gave you a bunch of tips today on what to do. The hashtags, right? Go to Twitter, go look at the hashtags, start jumping in on conversations, stop following those people. Now, on viralizers.com, I'm going to have a video, which is going to be how to automate the process of building your army of Viralizer fans from Twitter. Okay, it's going to be an automated formula. Now, I'm not into automation. However, as long as you're automating the friend part, and then you get notifications like I do all day, every day of, this one's following you, that one's following you, because they follow me back. Okay. Now, some people think of this as, oh, like, I don't want to follow people and have them follow me back. That's cheating or whatever. No, it's not. I think that's the stupidest thing. When I see people that have like all these followers and they're not following anyone back, they're only following like 13 people back and they think that makes them look cool or something. I just don't think like that. Okay. I want to be following other people. All right. I want to have conversations with people. This is a social media site. And understand that I'm only following, and you will also. We automate the process of, we only follow people that are having conversations in hashtags about our topic. Okay. We're not going to follow just anybody that's a fan of that guy's page. Okay. If that's our competitor, anybody that ever became a fan or a follower of that page, we go friend them up. That's not what we do. We only go after the people that are putting out tweets with that hashtag, that are always talking about that topic. Of course we want those people, okay? Because they're actually having conversations about our topic. So of course we're going to add them. The only thing we do is we automate that process. But it's very different. There's other people that use the same formula, but they don't know how to do what we're doing. Okay, I've never taught this publicly, and I've never seen anyone else teach this. How to go after the retweeters, the people having conversations in hashtags. I know how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to automate that process, and you're going to build the best tribe in your market, the most active, the most interested, the most engaged, the buyers, the most valuable people in your market are all going to be added to your tribe, and we're going to do it on autopilot. So understand that it's your job. I'm giving this to you for free, but it's your job to then engage with everyone that asks you a question and so on. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video where we'll go over the list that you need to make, and I'll tell you where to get those PDFs.